Thank you once again for stopping by the Ask the Armorer section of the Ball State Fencing Club website. Today we're going to be discussing how to actually build one of these, a 3-weapon LED lit test box. Now you can buy one of these test boxes online at any fencing equipment website such as absolutefencinggear.com. But what if you don't want to wait for it to ship to you, or you just kind of want to tinker around yourself? Well, these simple instructions I'm going to give you today, you can actually build one of these from parts that you can buy from any electronics store such as Fry's or Radio Shack. Now the first thing that we're going to start off with is we're going to start off with just a plastic container box. These project boxes can be picked up at any Radio Shack. You want to make sure that the box is big enough to house a 9-volt battery because that's going to be your power source. The rest of the parts I'm actually not going to list on here, but I will have them pop up over here on the side so that you can read through it and see what all you need to purchase. So now let's talk about the first thing that I did. The first thing I did when building my test box was these 3 holes in the top for the banana plugs that house the body cord. So instead of actually measuring out the distance between the plugs, which you can easily find online, and transferring those measurements to the box, I cheated a little bit and took a spare piece of cardboard and punched my body cord through the cardboard. This gave me the exact measurements that I needed for my body cord plugs that I could easily transfer to the box and use my power drill to drill the holes exactly where I needed them to be. Now that you have the holes drilled for the banana plugs, you want to actually mount the plugs in the holes that you drilled and make sure that the screws are tightened underneath so that they do not move around. Next, you will want to look at the lid and the placement of your LED lights. Now the LED lights should be placed at the top of the lid in conjunction with the banana plugs. This way, as you close the box up, it will not interfere while the battery will sit down here at the bottom of the box.
Once you have the banana plugs mounted and your LEDs mounted, now let's start to wire everything together. The first thing you are going to look at are your LEDs. On the LEDs, there are 2 leads, a positive and a negative. Most LEDs, the positive lead is going to be the longer one unless they are labeled on the bottom of the LEDs such as we have here. You want to take your resistor and solder it to the 2 positive leads of the LEDs. On the other end, you will solder the positive cable for the battery connector. From the negative line on your LEDs, one wire will lead to the A line for your banana plugs, while the other one leads to the C line. The B line will be connected to the black wire coming off of your 9-volt battery connector. Your final wiring configuration should look something similar to this. From your 9-volt battery connector, the red wire is connected to the resistor and the 2 positive LED terminals. From the red light negative terminal, you are connected to the C line banana plug. From the green light negative terminal, you are connected to the A line banana plug. The B line or center post banana plug is connected to the black cable coming off of the 9-volt battery connector.
You've wired your test box and soldered everything together, it's time to finish the assembly. What you want to do is take your battery and place it just underneath the 3 banana plugs, making sure not to crimp the wire or break any of the solders. Finally, close the lid of your box and tighten up the 4 screws around the outside of the lid. Now your test box is complete. Now that we've assembled our test box, it's time to test it. I've got my test box hooked up to my FA here, and when I push the tip, you can see that the green LED light illuminates. That tells me that my test box is working and my FA also works. If I had this connected to a foil, the red light would light up, and when I push the tip in, the red light will turn off. Thank you for stopping by the Ask the Armorer section. Now, if you have any questions that you would like to ask the Armorer or suggestions on what we should do for our next video, please leave them in the comments section below or visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/BSUFC.